It's All-Star Weekend in the 2012 NBA season. However, all news is on Dwight Howard. His future with the Orlando Magic is still questionable. No one knows what he's going to do. Apparently, he has a clause in his contract which he can activate if he doesn't get traded. But no one knows what Dwight Howard is going to do for the 2012-13 NBA season. If he's going to stay, if he's going to leave in free agency, or if the Magic can't even trade him anymore because we've passed the trade deadline. So it looks like the Magic are going to have to keep Dwight Howard until the end of the season at least. And then hopefully maybe the Magic can re-sign Dwight Howard. And then if Dwight still wants to leave, they can trade for him. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting as far as how the second half of the season for the Orlando Magic is going to turn out to be. However, here's some highlights of the NBA All-Star Game for 2012. Look at that pump fake by Kobe Bryant. And one play on Dwayne Wade. Even that play from Josh Smith there with that windmill slam. But yeah, watching this game for the West side, it was a disgrace. As you can see, the East are leading by, I think it's 13 point lead, and Stephen Jackson, who's an all-star this year, slams it down on Manu Ginobili for the slam. Dwight Howard tries to get his slam and fast break to Kevin Durant over Derrick Rose. But yeah, it wasn't really the most competitive NBA All-Star game you've ever seen. The East absolutely dominates, and as you can see, the East are up 61-47. So they have a 24-point lead in the third quarter. And as you can see, an alley-oop there from Dwayne Wade to Josh Smith. Josh Smith played well in the All-Star game. But yeah, as you can see, the East dominates the West in Orlando, and they take the 2012 All-Star Game 95-72. So I believe that's vengeance for last year, because I think the West won last year's All-Star Game. So enough with the festivities. Now it's time to really focus on what matters. Back to business with the Portland Trailblazers and this game against the New Orleans Hornets. Back to business for us as we approach the final month, or the final full month of the NBA regular season, as we begin the run towards the playoffs. And speaking of uncertain futures, what's going to happen to CP3 at the end of this season? Obviously, we've passed the trade deadline, so obviously Chris Paul can't be traded. He can't be traded anywhere else. Apparently there is rumors how he was going to go to the Lakers, but that never fell through. And I heard news how if that trade would have happened, I heard that NBA Commissioner David Stern was ready to veto that trade, which is very interesting. But yeah, CP3, the Hornets are not having a good season in 2012. It doesn't look like they're going to make the playoffs this season. And by the performance of this game, I think they're just tanking now to try and get a high draft pick. And as far as what's going to happen with Chris Paul, who knows? He might go to LA. He might go to Miami. I don't even know if the Miami he can even afford CP3. Maybe he goes to Dallas, and maybe there's a signing trade with the Mavericks. Maybe the New Orleans get Jason Kidd or something, or whatever. But clearly CP3 isn't happy with the Hornets right now, and I wouldn't blame him for leaving as we enter next season. No Sione there with a 3, extends the lead to 8, and I believe we're starting to play really well now. But as you'll see in the next videos, we've got a lot of away games, and we've got one including we've got a 7-game away stretch coming up. As you can see, that Aaron Gray falls for that pump fake there. And as you can see, I get that steal, another defensive possession for my team. And right now we're up by 11 with just over a minute to go. LaMarcus Aldridge over Jamel Okafor there with the two-handed slam. I believe we are ready for the NBA playoffs, but we need to go on another multi-game win streak to really get into a high seed for the playoffs. Because right now, it's Houston, then it's Oklahoma City. Look at that two-handed slam again on Okafor there. I literally ran by Aaron Gray there. So clearly the Hornets, they need work, but I believe the seeding right now is Houston, Oklahoma, and then I believe the San Antonio Spurs are there, and then we've got Denver as well, the Clippers maybe, and then us. And then I believe the Lakers might be the 8th seed, 8th or 7th seed, one of the two. But as you can see, no Sione there with another 3. And that extends the lead to what was 14 at the time. Jimmy Fredette getting some minutes as he drains the free throw line shot right there. And we had a manageable gap. And, you know, pretty much for all of the first half, as Batum, too much space for Nicholas Batum, extends the lead to 12. Pretty much the closest that the lead got was 9 in the first half, but we was able to really control the distance. And as you can see, look at that lob to Greg Oden. I'm just messing around here. As you can see, you know, I thought I'd mess around with Okafor, and you know, the Hornets, they got abused in this game. I can't lie, they got touched up. Pick and roll with LaMarcus Aldridge. Batum was running there. I don't know why he was running. He was wide open for free. But Aldridge in the post. CP3 on Brandon Roy. That's a complete and utter mismatch. Brandon Roy too tall for the small Chris Paul. 10 points, 4 for 4 from field. And here we go, 5 seconds for the end of the first half. As you can see behind the back, pull-up jump shot. No good, but we end the first half up by 8. And it's looking good.
Hello and good Monday night. Let's get right into our HP halftime report. Some good basketball for the Trailblazers. They'd like a chance to move up in the conference standings right now, sitting 7th. LaMarcus Aldridge, a big impact in this one. He's got 10 points, been getting to the rim, been getting to the line, and a great shooting percentage from both. And for the Hornets, going all out. They're doing well inside, big bodies, big points in the paint advantage. The leading scorer is Trevor Ariza, 13 points, and it's been bombs away from outside. And a couple of guys here came to play for their respective teams. We'll try and both keep it going in the third. We already got a few games gone final. Check them out from around the league. For Milwaukee, a loss to the Bobcats at Time Warner Cable Arena. It wasn't even close. A big disappointment from this club. The bulk of the scoring came from Brandon Jennings. And another game that wrapped up at Quicken Loans Arena. It's the Cavaliers winning over the Jazz. So far, after dropping 4 in a row, that win was definitely welcome. And a look here at the other action around the association.
In towards the second half we go. And the Hornets actually do make a slight comeback, but it doesn't start off well for them. As you can see, there's a block right there for CP3. Transition offense, no Sione in the far left corner. He makes a swish to extend the lead back to 13. And I believe in order for us to win, especially when it comes to the playoffs, I think probably 4 of us need at least double digits. I think me, Nick Batum, Aldridge, and maybe even No Sione or Rudy Fernandez, or maybe even Brandon Roy even. I know Brandon Roy hasn't had a good season at all this season. I think he's been averaging like 12 points compared to last season where he was averaging around about 22. But as you can see, I think if 4 of us can average double digits in points, in assists, or in rebounds, I feel like we should be in a very good position to win games heading in towards the playoffs. As you can see, I'm abusing CP3. I sent him the wrong way. I don't know why I passed that. I literally had a wide open layup. Tried to drive on the right side. Pull up jump shot there. And I need to do a better job because most of my shots have been off the rim. And they've been luckily bouncing in. So Looking back, I don't know why I didn't take that shot, but Brandon Roy was wide open. He got unlucky there with the in and out. However, we get the rebound, and the lead is back to within 14 of us. Final 8 seconds of the third quarter, as you can see, the lead's been shrunk to 9. David West trying to do some double shimmy moves on LaMarcus Aldridge, and he actually makes the basket to cut the lead down to 7. And David West, he was actually having a good game compared to Chris Paul here. And we end the third quarter literally up by 8. As we begin the final quarter of this game, we begin it with a pick and roll, go behind the back. No gap there, but I'm just trying to find something. Jordan Hill, one of our signings. Again, another behind the back move. Go all the way for a double clutch layup, and that is a lovely, lovely layup. And as you can see, I had to save the replay right there. I had saved the replay. I tried to do the same play again, but this time they cover off the paint. That's no use because Nocioni will make it swish from downtown. However, in the final 5 minutes, the Hornets, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's just, we just eased off a bit. As you can see, once again, I'm abusing that play. Brandon Roy wide open for 3. Extends the lead to 11, but they do make a comeback. However, unfortunately, it's not enough. With 43 seconds left, it's a 4-point game. The Hornets, they are trying to come back. However, Aldridge in the post. I believe this is going to be the one that ends the game. As you can see right there, what a shot. Post fade away from the right-hand side, 6-point game. They foul, and Aldridge makes the free throws. We take this game 91-84, and I believe this is the final game before the 7-game road stand. And yeah, we start this 7-game away streak with Minnesota, and then we end it with Orlando and Miami. So that should be very interesting as we go on the road. But yeah, back to business as usual. The All-Star break is over, and now we can focus on what our intentions are really about. Defending this NBA championship and trying to repeat as champs. I finished this game 26 points, a double-double, 26, 10, 5, and 3.
Your name kept coming up as your teammates talked about the key elements in the win tonight. How does it feel to hear that they had such positive things to say about your play?
Man, it really means a lot. I couldn't do the things I do without them. The game of basketball is so deeply rooted in teamwork and learning how to play as a unit that it often doesn't even make sense to call out an individual. So I appreciate the props, but this is really about this team stepping up and getting the job done as a group. Each one of us knows our role and goes out there and gets the job done. And it's a great feeling knowing that you're on a team like that, man.